Om Sri Sai Ram. In the previous session, we have discussed about types of relations. Most importantly, the three relations which we have discussed. Now we are going to solve problems based upon that. But before we take up the problems, we will have a quick look about those relations. In first place, what is relation? In a very simple terms, we have said relation is a subset of Cartesian product. Every relation is part of Cartesian product. And then we have seen various types of relations, empty relation, universal relation, and then we have discussed about symmetry, transitivity, etc., etc. Let us see the relations when we apply in solving problems, how they become very simple to understand. So let us begin with one of the problems of the exercise. The first problem of today is the problem number 8 of our textbook. He says, show that the relation R in set A, he has given the set A given by how he has defined relation. Relation is equal to modulus of A minus B such that A minus B is even. He says, prove that it is an equivalence relation. When we can say that a relation is equivalence relation? If it is reflexive, symmetric, as well as transitive. When do you say a relation is reflexive? If you take one element, if it finds its relation with itself, it is reflexive. When do you say relation is symmetric? If you take two elements with whatever relation A is related to B, if you find that B is also related to A, we call it symmetric relation. When do we say when do we say a relation is transitive? By taking three elements, the relation between A and B and the relation between B and C is same. And if it implies that the relation between A and C is also same, we say it is transitive. So in this particular problem, where he says it has got two parts. Let us first take the first part where he is asking us to prove that it is an equivalence relation. So first we will see the first part of the problem where he is asking us to prove that it is equivalence relation. And to prove that it is equivalence relation, let us take up one after the other. The first one among them, we need to prove that it is reflexive. There are two ways of doing it. One way of doing it is in set builder form. Another way of doing it is in roster form. So keeping this relation modulus of A minus B is even, you write the same R. So let us say you begin with 1. 1 minus 1, so 1, 1 is one element. 1, 3, because the difference is again even. 1, 5, begin with 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 2, 4, 2, 2, 4, 2, 4, 4. 1, 5 we have, we can also have 5, 1, 1 3 we have, we can also have 3 1. So these are the elements in set of relation. Now what happens, it becomes very easy to say whether it is reflexive or not. For example, here we can say that R is reflexive. Why it is reflexive? There is ARA. For all A belongs to A. Means what? Every element is related to itself. 1 minus 1, 0, even. 2 minus 2, 0. So you can find that 1 1, we have 2 2, you have 3 3. You can also write, you also have 4 4 and 5 5. So R is reflexive because as there is ARA, means for all elements of A, it is related to itself. Then second one, R is symmetric, as we find ARB implies BRA for all AB belongs to A. If you have 1 3, you have got 3 1. If you have got 3 5, you have got 5 3. You can also write, because 5 minus 3 is also even, 3 minus 5 is also even, and since you are taking modulus, it is going to be positive only. So if you have 2 4, you have got 4 2. If you have got 1 5, you have got 5 1. So we find that if A is related to B by given relation, B is also related to A by same relation. So we conclude that the given relation R is symmetric. Third one is the transitive. Again we say that R is transitive. Why it is transitive? As ARB, comma, BRC implies ARC for all A, B, C belongs to A. What does it mean? Let us try understanding it. What it actually means, start with anything. Let us say 1 is related to 3. This 3 is related to 5. You also find 1 5. You also find 1 5. You start with anything else. Let us say 2 4. 2 is related to 4. 4 is related to 2. You also have 2 is related to 2. So what do we find? We find that it is also transitive. So R is reflexive, R is symmetric, R is transitive. Conclusion is R is an equivalence relation. Hence, now let us come to the second part of the question. What does the second part of the question says? He says, show that all the elements of 1 3 5 are related to each other. You can see, purposely I have written in such a way that in the first row you find only elements 1 3 5. In the second row you find the elements 2 4. So he is trying to say that the elements 1 3 5 are related to each other independently, and the elements 2 4 are related to each other independently. Means if you take these elements and make a set, again it is an equivalence relation. And if you take the elements 2 4, and you will find that same equivalence relation exists even here. So independently we have two subsets, one made of odd numbers, one made of even numbers, and we find that there is no connect between them. Why? Because we are talking about difference of two numbers. Difference of two odd numbers is even. Difference of two even numbers is also even. But if you take one odd and one even, the difference is not going to be even, whereas the relation is that it should be even. Modulus of A minus B is even. So this is how we explain. We will say that elements 1 3 5 are all odd numbers, so they are related. whereas numbers 2, 4 are even numbers and they are related. But if we take one odd and another even, the difference will not be even. Let us go back to the question once again and see whether we have fulfilled his requirement. He says, show that all the elements of 1, 3, 5 are related to each other. The first row shows that. Then he says, show that the elements 2, 4 are related to each other. Second row shows that. But no element of 1, 3, 5 is related to any element of 2, 4. You don't find anything common, because this is the reason. If you take one odd and one even, or one even and another odd, the difference is not going to be even. So they are not related with the given relation. Very, very important thing which we are going to study with the help of this example. What we are going to learn is something called equivalent classes. What do you mean by equivalent classes? Equivalent classes basically means that in the same relation you have got two sets. Independently they are equivalent relation, they have equivalent relation among them, but there is nothing common in between them. So 1, 3, 5 make one class of equivalence relation, 2, 4 make another class of equivalence relation. So they are called equivalent classes. Together they are part of the relation. So this is the definition of equivalent classes. Equivalent classes means in the same set of elements you will find two subsets in such a way that in each of the sets, if you take and find the relation, the relations are independently equivalent relation, but among them there is no connect. So they are called equivalent classes. Let us move to the next problem. Next one is a very interesting one. We have studied about reflexive, symmetric, transitive. So the problems are such that for example, first one he says, give an example of a relation which is symmetric but neither reflexive nor transitive. You can give any example. He says the first one, it is symmetric but not reflexive and transitive. Any example can be given. Any example can be given, but the easier way of writing answer we will learn while doing the problem. For example, for this you can say L1 and L2 are two lines which are perpendicular. If L1 is perpendicular to L2, L2 is also perpendicular to L1, and we can conclude that the relation is symmetric, and we know that no line can be perpendicular to itself, so it is not reflexive. And if you are talking about first, second and third line, if first line is perpendicular to second, if second is perpendicular to third, first and third will not be perpendicular but will be parallel. So that is one example from geometry. With the help of sets also you can give the example. In fact, you can write the relation set the way you want. For example, this one, we want that it should be symmetric but not reflexive and transitive. See how we can write. Let us say we take a set A equal to 1, 2, 3. With the help of these elements we are finding out, let us say we call it R1. What does R1 contain? It contains 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. Only this many elements. See, whatever elements you want to write, you can write. Now look at this. It is not reflexive. Why it is not reflexive? Because there is no 1, 1, there is no 2, 2, there is no 3, 3. So it is not reflexive, but it is symmetric. Why symmetric? When 1, 2 is there, 2, 1 is there. When 2, 3 is there, 3, 2 is there. So it is symmetric. It is not transitive. Why it is not transitive? 1 is related to 2, 2 is related to 1, 1 is not related to 1. 2 is related to 1, 1 is related to 2, 2 is not related to 2. So it is not transitive. So in this way, you can write relations on your own and explain whatever requirement is there. We can fulfill that particular requirement. Let us go to the next one. Next one, he says it is transitive but neither reflexive nor symmetric. It is transitive but neither reflexive nor symmetric. As I mentioned, from the same set of elements you can write. You can also give your own example. Let us say the relation we are talking about less than. So we can say that 1 is less than 2, 2 is less than 3 and 1, 3. If you write, for example here 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3. This is an example of transitive relation. How? 1 is related to 2, 2 is related to 3, 1 is related to 3. But it is not reflexive. Why it is not reflexive? Because there is no 1, 1, there is no 2, 2, there is no 3, 3. It is also not symmetric. Why it is not symmetric? We have 2, 3, but we don't have 3, 2. We have 1, 2, but we don't have 2, 1. So this is an example of transitive relation but not reflexive and symmetric. Go to the next one. Third one, he says reflexive and symmetric but not transitive. Reflexive and symmetric, not transitive. Write one more relation. Reflexive and symmetric. Since it is reflexive, you will write 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. This takes care of reflexive. Symmetric, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. And we close here. Look at this. This relation is reflexive. Why it is reflexive? 1 is related to 1, 2 is related to 2, 3 is related to 3. Is also symmetric. Why it is symmetric? When 1, 2 is there, there is 2, 1. When 2, 3 is there, there is 3, 2. But it is not transitive. Why it is not transitive? Take for example, 1, 2 is there, 2, 3 is there, 1, 2, 2, 3. 1 is related to 2, 2 is related to 3, but 1 is not related to 3 in the set. 1, 3 is missing in it. 1, 2 is there, 2, 3 is there, but 1, 3 is missing. So we say that this is an example of reflexive and symmetric but not transitive. Go to the next one. Fourth one, he says reflexive and transitive. Not symmetric. Once again you write on your own. Let us say this is R4 and we write it as reflexive. So let us say it is 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Transitive. So let us say it is 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3. We can close here. Now look at this. It is reflexive because 1 is related to 1, 2 is related to 2, 3 is related to 3. It is also transitive. 1 is related to 2, 2 is related to 3, 1 is related to 3. But it is not symmetric. Why it is not symmetric? 1, 2 is there, but 2, 1 is not there. 2, 3 is there, but 3, 2 is not there. 1, 3 is there, but 3, 1 is not there. So in that particular way, it fulfills the condition. Come to the last one in this. Symmetric and transitive. Not reflexive. So write this as R5. Symmetric. So we can say 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 1. Then let us say we also have 1, 1, we also have 2, 2. Look at this. It is symmetric. Why it is symmetric? When 1, 2 is there, there is 2, 1. For 2, 3, we have got 3, 2. For 1, 3, we have got 3, 1. So it is symmetric. It is also transitive. How do you say it is transitive? 1, 2 is there, 2, 1 is there. For that, we have 1, 1. 2, 1 is there, 1, 1 is there, and 2, 1 is there. 3, 2 is there, 2, 3 is there, and 3, 3 is there. Observe carefully. Symmetric and transitive. For 1, 2, we have 2, 1. For 2, 3, we have 3, 2. For 1, 3, we have 3, 1. It is not reflexive because 3, 3 is missing. 1, 1 is there, 2, 2 is there, but 3, 3 is missing. So we say that it is not reflexive. So in this way, you can write any elements in a relation to fulfill the given conditions. We'll go to the next problem. Twelfth problem. He says, show that the relation R defined in the set of all triangles. Remember, we have set of triangles. And the relation he has given as T1 comma T2 such that T1 is similar to T2. T1 is similar to T2. He says, show that it is an equivalence relation. Show that it is an equivalence relation. And then we will come to the second part of the problem where he has given measurements of sides. Very simple problem it is. We can say that this particular, let us say R is reflexive. Why it is reflexive? As R1 exists for all R1 belongs to, no, not R1, T1. We are talking about triangles. T1 comma T1 for all T1 belongs to S, you can say, for the given set. Because every triangle is similar to itself. Any triangle is similar to itself. Any kind of triangle you take, whether you take right triangle, whether you take obtuse triangle, whether you take acute triangle, any triangle you take, every triangle is similar to itself. Similar means what? Sides are proportional. So suppose one particular triangle has got sides 3, 4, 5. Another triangle you take whose sides are also 3, 4, 5. We say that 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, all the ratios are equal to 1. So the triangles are similar. So R is reflexive because there exists T1 comma T1 for all T1 belongs to S. Means what? T1 is related to T1. T1 is similar to T1. Let us move to the second one. We say that R is symmetric. Why do we say R is symmetric? As for T1 comma T2, there exists T2 comma T1. They also belong to R. If one triangle is similar to second triangle, in turn we can say that the second triangle is similar to first triangle. So we conclude that there is symmetry in this particular relation. If one triangle T1 is similar to triangle T2, we can conclude that triangle T2 is similar to triangle T1. So in this particular way, there exists the symmetry. Come to the transitivity. R is transitive. as we find T1 comma T2 comma T2 comma T3 implies T1 comma T3 for all T1, T2, T3 belongs to A. Here we can say for all T1 comma T2 belongs to A. What this particular relation is telling? It is telling that if first triangle is similar to second triangle, if second triangle is similar to third triangle, the first triangle is similar to third triangle. So it is transitive. So we found that the given relation of similarity between triangles is reflexive, is symmetric as well as transitive. So R is an equivalence relation. Why it is an equivalence relation? Because it is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. What do you mean by triangle being similar? Corresponding angles are equal, corresponding sides are proportional. We will use this particular concept to solve the second part of the problem. What the second part of the problem says? Triangle T1 has got sides 3, 4, 5. T1 has got sides 3, 4, 5. T2 has got sides 5, 12, 13 and T3 has got sides 6, 8, 10 and is asking among this which triangles among T1, T2, T3 are related. Related by what? By similarity. When do we say they are similar? Take the ratio of sides. For example, for T1 and T2, the relation is 3 by 5, 4 by 12 and 5 by 13. And we find that they are not equal. 3 by 5 is not equal to 4 by 12, is not equal to 5 by 13. So conclusion, T1 and T2 are not similar. So T1 is not similar to T2. Take T2 and T3. For T2 and T3, 5 by 6 not equal to 12 by 8, not equal to 13 by 10. So T2 is also not similar to T3. Check whether first one and third one. For T1, and T3, 3 by 6 which is 1 by 2 equal to 4 by 8 which is also 1 by 2 equal to 5 by 10 which is also 1 by 2. All are equal to 1 by 2. So T1 is similar to T3. Wherever sides are proportional, there are similar. If they are similar, there is a relation. So T1 and T2 are not similar. T2 and T3 are not similar, but T1 and T3 are similar. So this is how we solve this problem. We go to the next problem, the last problem of this exercise. He says, let L be the set of lines in xy plane. What is L? Set of lines. And the relation is defined as R is equal to L1 comma L2 such that L1 is parallel to L2. L1 is parallel to L2. This is the relation. He says Show that R is an equivalence relation. This is the first part of the problem. And then we will go to the second part of the problem. First, let us do the first part. How do you say that this relation is equivalence relation? If you are able to prove that it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, we can conclude that this relation R is an equivalence relation. So, begin, we will say R is reflexive. Why R is reflexive? As L1 comma L1. In other words, if you want to write the same thing, either you put comma or you can also say L1 is related to L1 for all L1 belongs to L. What is L? It is set of lines. For all L1 belongs to L. How do you say this? Because each line is parallel to itself. Each line is parallel to itself. So, this relation of lines being parallel is reflexive. Second one, R is symmetric. How do you say it is symmetric? As L1 or L2. If L1 is parallel to L2, this implies that L2 is parallel to L2 is related to L1 for all L1 comma L2 belongs to L. If one line is parallel to second line, we can conclude that second line is also parallel to first line. So, this relation is also symmetric. Take the third one, R is transitive. How do you say it is transitive? As if L1 is related to L2, if L1 is parallel to L2, comma, L2 is parallel to L3, this implies that L1 is parallel to L3 for all L1, L2, L3 belong to L. If first line is parallel to second line is parallel to third line, we can conclude that the first line is parallel to third line. This is how we conclude that the given relation R is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So, R is an equivalence relation. Hence, R is an Now come to the last part of this problem. The second part of the problem, he says, find the set of all lines related to the line y equal to 2x plus 4. He says find all sets of lines related to it. What do you mean by saying related to it? In this particular problem, we are talking about parallel lines. So, any line related to it means it should be parallel to it. When do we say two lines are parallel? We say two lines are parallel if their slopes are equal. You can see that the equation is given in the form y equal to mx plus c. Here, m is equal to 2, which is nothing but slope. So, any line which is parallel to this must have the slope 2. Constant can change. So, by giving different values to constants, you will get set of lines which are parallel to this. So, set of lines related to given lines will have same slope 2, but constant can change. So, the answer can be y equal to 2x plus k. this k can be any real number. You keep changing k, you will keep getting different lines, and all of them are going to be parallel to given line. So in this manner, we have discussed about various types of relations and problems related to various types of relations. In the next session, we are going to talk about functions, which is the second part of this particular topic. So we look forward for the next session where we will discuss about various types of functions. Till then, thank you. Sai Ram.